Hello YouTube, Mr. Dangerous here, and today I'm going to be doing a sort of several part tutorial. One of my friends wants to see a flight from the complete start, planning phases, takeoff, cruise, descent, landing and powering down at the end. So this part one is going to be starting off from scratch in the PMDG 747, how to get all the systems running, load a flight plan, etc, etc. I'm also online with VATSIM, so once I've done all my flight plan and everything and got it all together, then I shall be calling for clearance if there's any ATC online. So first I always just use the 2D panel for it. For some reason I've got, even though I haven't got the engines on at all. Let's just go to the CAS engine page. Right, I'm not quite sure why we've got engine sounds, but anyway. Okay, first things, always use the 2D panel for setting things up because it's just easy. Okay, so we're in the overhead panel. We're going to use external power, so the first thing is to power that up. Standby power will be off normally, so you can click that to auto. You don't need the APU for now. Now we're going to switch the IRS, the inertia reference system, switch them off and then back to nav if they're not already off. And then when we come down here, it should come up, there it goes up, and it goes into align mode. I've got it set up for a minute or something like that. Once it's all aligned, it should automatically bring the artificial horizon and stuff up on there. So anyway, we go to here, that will be it bonging to tell me that it's done. Press the FMC and there's the GPS. So it's into IRS position, so clear that off, click the button, click that in there and the jobs are good. You can see we've now got all the artificial horizon and the navigation displays will come on. So we'll switch that off. Coming back up here to the overhead, right, we'll switch the utility buses on first. It's basically going to go down this panel like that, and then we're going to go down that panel like that, and then we'll come down the middle like the last of all. So we haven't got the APU on yet, that comes later on. So we'll switch all the generators on, so we've got electricity. Come further down here to the hydraulics, put these three to auto, so we've got hydraulics with the APU or external power and all that, and put the fourth one onto auxiliary, and then we make sure all the demand pumps are on. There they are there. These are your interior lights, and here if it's dark, I have them switched on as standard so that when it comes on with no power and everything's powered down, you press external power and then all the lights come on straight away, so you haven't got to fumble about with the switches. Right, so that's everything on that panel. I come over here and put the yaw dampers on. That basically stops the aircraft when it's flying straight and level and the autopilot's on. You can get yaw where it will swing like either up a little bit and down a bit, or it'll roll left and right, left and right, left and right. The yaw dampers basically to stop that. Next we need to turn the air conditioning on, which is the trim air button and gasper. And then everything else is set to automatic. And you can hear the air going in the background. For some reason it was going automatically, but there we go. And then we put the APU engine bleed on for when, well actually we don't need that yet because we've got the APU running. Okay, so next we come down this panel here. We don't need these yet. These are the fire arming switches, which should be, which is the filters, jettison and the cargo fire and all that. It all should be sorted out. Right, these are the starters for the engine, we don't need that yet. But we'll make sure that auto start is selected and single engine, not both, and norm for the mode. And then here's our fuel pumps. We don't need them on just yet, so I'm going to leave them for now. And then we want the window heat on, so we've got misted up screen. It's not frozen today, temperature's alright, so we don't need any anti-ice for now. We don't need any wipers or anything like that. Landing lights don't need to go on yet. Runway turn off don't need to go on, or taxi lights. Beacon, we haven't got the engines running or going to start the engines, so we don't need it. Put the nav lights on. We're not on the runway, so we don't need the strobes. And then the wing lights and the logo lights go on. Now next thing, we come to our 2D panel here. We shall do the FMC next. So we come to the FMC in the middle of the screen, so you can see it easier. Right, we've set our IRS position, so now we click route. Now I've actually got a company route saved for this route that I'm doing today, which is EGLL KJFK, which is New York Kennedy International. Click that in the company route. Flight number, obviously I'm flying for Virgin Virtual, so it's Virgin 9 Mike. There's our flight number. And click activate and execute. And now I come over here and you can see we've got the flight plan here. Now I've got to change bits. Let me get here, because this is the North Atlantic track. Well, because I'm going to be flying online, the ATC may give me a different track. So I've got to take them out and put the current ones in anyway. So we'll do that in a bit. Now I need to find out which runway I'm going to be taking off from. So to do that, I've got Active Sky Next. Put my flight plan into Active Sky Next. If I go to the com and put in 122.00, we should get ATIS for Heathrow.
Echo Golf Lima Lima Airport information Oscar 2320 Zulu weather wind 020 at 4 visibility 10 sky condition few clouds at 1600 ceiling 3900 broken temperature 6 dew point 4 QNH 1020 advise on initial contact you have information Oscar Echo Golf.
Okay, so well, we've got the comm panel open, we'll make sure seatbelt lights on, no smoking's on, cockpit doors locked, and then we don't need any of that for now. Transponder needs to be set off. We'll do the transponder test while we're here. Switch the comm panel off, and we'll come back over here now.
TCAS system test OK.
What we deduced from that ATIS is that the wind was at 020 degrees, which means we'll be taking off on runway 9 right, and our first point in our flight plan is Compton, so we need a Compton departure. Click execute, and we go to the legs, and you can now see we've got the points for the SID in there, all done. Next thing is we can put our make sure our fuel is all done right. What have we got there? 190,000 pounds of fuel, that's what I'd need. So that will be our gross weight, so we click that, puts it in. I normally put in reserves of 20,000 pounds, it's normally more than that. Cost index, I believe going west is 90. Virgin, and our initial cruise flight level is flight level 340, 34,000 feet. Next we come over for the thrust limit for takeoff, and we'll definitely, because we're nowhere near fully loaded, we'll be able to do a ±5% toke at takeoff. Might even be able to do a -15%, I'm not going to today. Alright, let's fill the takeoff data in. Now, the runway is dry. You can see that because we can go to the runway view and it's not raining. So runway conditions are dry. The wind, I just leave that as it is. Flaps, because I think because we're not fully loaded, we can do a flaps 10 today, which would be 142, 156. 770, so we click those to add them into the FMC. So they're all done. The next thing I'll do then, we can click that back to thrust limit. Now we come over here to VNAV, and we can see it's put in our flight level. And one thing I'd like to do is to stop really getting overspins on my Virgin record thing where it records all the flight information. Put a manual 240 knots speed restriction and 10,000. It's actually 250. Put 240, otherwise it sometimes actually accelerates over it. And the transition level is 6,000 feet. So we'll put that in, execute. Okay, so that's done in the VNAV section. That's telling us about our step climbs and cruise. And then that's our actual descent. You can see 240 flight level 100. So now that's done. Now we come over to the legs here and check that the speeds are all correct. I came over to takeoff limit, 170 as our V2. So coming over to our legs, its minimum is 180, which is what we want. And I also need to set it here as well, even though we won't be using that. So that's that bit there set. And then we come down, make sure all the altitudes are correct here. You can see it's gone to 6,000, which is what we need on the SID. And then after that, it'll then climb to 340, change to a Mach hold here. Go through, make sure there's no discontinuities. Right, it thinks we're going to land on runway 22 left at Kennedy, but we probably won't. Depends on the weather. Okay, so all that's done. So I think that's the FMC all set up. So we'll do that. Next up, we're going to be taking off on 9 right. So we need the heading for that runway, which 19 degrees. Set the bank limit to 25 so it'll actually turn properly, and set this to our initial altitude, which is 6,000. Now next we will set the barometer reference, which needs to be, I can't remember what it was, let's go back, should have written it down really, never mind.
Echo, Golf, Lima, airport information, Quebec 2320, Zulu, weather, wind 020, at 4, visibility 10, sky condition, few clouds at 1,600, ceiling 3,900, broken, temperature 6, 2.4, QNH 1020, advise on initial contact information, Quebec, Echo, Lima, airport information, 2320, Zulu.
Right, so the barometric pressure is 1020, so we'll set that up there. You can see now our pressure's right. That thinks we're actually on the ground, not at minus 200 feet or whatever it's set up. Okay, now go up ahead. Make sure that's all done, that's all set up. There, got our lights on. Right. I think we'll conclude part 1 there. And then part 2 will be, because I think we're ready for the pushback now. So part 2, if I decide to do it online, we'll have to call for clearance. If not, we won't need any ATC, so we'll just be able to go through the flight. I think I might do that actually, so I'm not going to worry about messing around. So thanks for watching, and join in for part 2.